Hello and welcome to the Circle At Kismet. Today we're doing a reading to find out some information on our future spouse, soulmate, twin flame or our next significant relationship. In this reading we are using a beach theme to discover what personality traits they may have, what type of holidays they may enjoy, what we can do to bring this connection into being, and we also have a postcard from this potential suitor on their thoughts of you whilst at the beach. If you're new to Pick Apart readings, pause the video if you need to. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. When you reopen your eyes, see which option your heart is drawn to. So let's take a closer look at the options. Option number 1, the blue beach hut. Option number 2, the purple beach hut. Option number 3, the red beach hut. Option number 4, the orange beach hut. Option number 5, the yellow beach hut. And option number 6, the green beach hut. This reading is timeless, so trust when you come across it, it will be right for you. This will not be for everyone, so take what resonates and leave the rest for everyone else. Timestamps will be below in the description box, along with ways to help the channel. If you enjoy this reading, please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, or leaving a comment, as all help the channel reach its destined audience, and I'll see you at your hut. If you pick the blue beach hut, here are your cards, but we're going to start off with our postcard from our potential suitor. And it's their thoughts while they're at the beach, and it reads, "To my beloved, as the evening arrives, I sit overlooking the vast beach. The sound of the sea gives a soothing tone in the background. A twinkle of light swaying rhythm with the wind. It is the most beautiful scene. My elation is only curbed by experiencing this alone. You should be here beside me, and then my vision will be complete. Until then, your one and only." And 3 kisses. I always think it's a nice way to start the reading with a letter or a postcard or some kind of contact from that future person. So onto the cards. The first card we have is the masculine energy. And in this case, it's number 49, the rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time. Those represented by the rabbit spirit are said to be quick on their feet. They are witty, fast talkers who have quick reactions and can combat almost any situation as they are so resourceful. The rabbit spirit comes up for those who show a simple facade to the world, yet have a far more complex personality and life behind the scenes. Their minds work fast and can often resemble the rabbit warren that this spirit animal lives in, with its twists and turns and array of tunnels. They are slow to trust and may only have a handful of close friends who they completely depend on. They often come from large families or want a large family, but feel life moves too fast to consider the future or settling down. On a negative note, the rabbit spirit has little time for those who they feel they have been let down by, and can be known to kick off if they feel they have been wronged. The next card we have represents the feminine energy, and we have number 11, Secret of Shinobi. The person represented by the Secret of Shinobi card relates to someone who is quite a private person, not one to indulge in tittle-tattle, gossip, or to outwardly flaunt their thoughts and feelings, much preferring to work away from the limelight, even if others will be taking credit for their hard work. They feel honesty is the best policy and are as transparent as they can possibly be, but the reasoning behind this personality trait is either past hurt or fear of the unknown. They do not wish to open up to the wrong people, nor do they wish to share their innermost desires to someone who is not worthy. On a negative note, their ideals are high, sometimes to the extent that it allows them not to want to interact with those who fall short of this. They prefer to be in control than to be a passenger. They are often those who come up with the most innovative and radical ideas, but aren't always recruited to bring these to fruition. The next batch of cards are the energy when you meet. And we have the Seven of Crystals, the Fairy Godmother, and Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. With two very magical cards denoting other beings in this section, it may indicate that others around you will help you come together. Mutual friends, groups, night classes, work, college classes, etc. are all well starred in this union. Equally, there is a strong sense of manifestation, and the universe is guiding you and delivering your ultimate desires of a partner. You may feel there is a lull or a darkness before you come together. There is a period of isolation or loneliness. This may well be self-imposed, and it is a period before you come together. This will be a pivotal moment of change that begins when you connect, beginning a domino effect with many things that have been about to come into being actually coming to fruition. Trying to get a little bit of guidance on where you may potentially meet, and a few ideas that came to mind were where candles are lit, near frost-tinted windows, at a pantomime, near a rainbow in the sky or as a symbol, near horses or horses and carriages, under a crescent moon, near a castle or a regal palace, in a market, in a pumpkin patch, when there are strange cloud formations in the sky, somewhere where books line the shelves, near an ornate lamp, in a Japanese-style garden, where someone falls over or is upside down, when you smell a reassuring scent that makes you smile, at a masked ball, after having a prophetic or vivid dream and you visit that place that featured, or on or after a boat trip which takes longer than you imagined. Next we have some cards for how the relationship will progress, and we have the Star, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Coins, the Two of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. In the early stages of your relationship, it may feel things are up in the air, that it's not very tangible or has little substance. You may both be juggling spending time with one another with other pressing commitments such as family, work, education, children, or possibly living a long distance from one another. You may question where you stand and if this person mirrors your feelings or if you are just another section of this significant other's life. Do they just allocate a set time to you? But perseverance will pay off. To form a routine and regular time together will bring a pattern which will allow you time to learn about each other and grow closer at a pace you both feel comfortable with. The next couple of cards are obstacles, potential obstacles, and we have the Three of Spades, the Ten of Hearts, and the Queen of Clubs. A couple of the piles have shown a similar trait, that the obstacle is another person or an influence. It could be a friend or family member who is interfering, or it could be an ex-partner who has a hold over this person's heartstrings by a feeling of what might have been. For one or two of you, this could be someone who is directly competing with you for your soulmate's attention. They are not as sincere as you are, and their attempts to sway another's feelings are weak, but you need to tread carefully if this is the case for you. The next group of cards is what they admire about you. And we have forgiving, the third eye chakra, and speak the truth. They like your honesty, the fact you speak your truth, and do not hold back when something needs to be said or acted upon. Your perception and vision draws their interest. They feel you are on a spiritual high in comparison to them and look up to you for this. You offer a reassuring, calm and stable influence which gives them and your relationship a sturdy foundation. You are on the whole forgiving and like to think the best of people until they prove otherwise. The next two cards reflect what you learned from this relationship, and you have orange, number 16, nurture yourself, and you have number 39, purple, develop mental clarity. Orange is a colour of happiness and confidence, and it combats loneliness and releases tension. On the whole, it is an uplifting colour and can lighten mood in the darkest of days. Purple is a colour of positivity and success. It is said to allow you to clear your mind and to remove or quash negativity. It also encourages you to build on your previous successes to reap future reward. For the second section of this reading, which includes pick a deck chair, pick flip-flops, buckets, etc., check the timestamps for part 2 towards the end of this video. If you pick the purple beach heart, here are your cards, but we're going to start with a postcard from your potential suitor at the beach. And it says, "My darling you, it's early morning. The chorus of the birds echoes across the beach as they fly overhead before settling on the nearby cliffs. Small boats bob undulating on the current of the waves as they go back and forth. The clouds have dissipated, leaving the sun to dazzle and warm the morning chill. You will love this most beautiful of scenes. I cannot wait to share this and so much more with you. Eternally yours," and 3 kisses. I always think it's nice to start with some kind of contact from that potential suitor, be it a letter or a postcard. So the masculine energy we have is card number 65. It's the whale spirit, trust the great mystery. The whale spirit denotes someone who fully immerses themselves into anything they are dedicated to. They are mysterious people, hard to read, and often very private individuals. They can be quite old-fashioned and in some senses preferring traditional to modern if given the choice. They can be quite sensitive to others' emotions and often pick up on subtle changes that others may not pick up on. They are at peace near or in water, albeit listening to calming waves or swimming in the local swimming baths. They have the ability to ride a storm and will rarely share their insecurities, choosing to take their frustrations out in sporting endeavours or in pursuits they enjoy to alleviate stress. On a negative note, they have a dreamy overview of life and can be guilty of living in their own little bubble where they will happily remain until they are forced to change or guided firmly out of their comfort zone. And the feminine energy in this reading is number 24, Pinhead Punchinello. The Pinhead Punchinello represents a person who is overwhelmed by choice, someone who has so many viable opportunities to pick from that sometimes it can all seem too much and it can feel draining. It can be a person who has a well-balanced life but has so much more that they want to do and they feel there is just so little time to dedicate to everything. It may be that they have had no time for love, or the void of a relationship has been filled with lots of other things. Having no time means you don't dwell on an emptiness, or you don't need to seek a resolution if the problem is not seen to be there. On a negative note, you need to release things that engulf your time but do not give you anything in return. As times change, it can be hard to release things that we have made a connection with, but these connections stretch and wane and morph without us realising into time and energy drainers. The next cards are the energy when you meet, and you have the Six of Wands, the Six of Swords, the Guardian Angel, and Beauty and the Beast. You will meet at a time where victory meets the end of a chapter. A door has closed. You or your potential suitor has endured a phase coming to an end. Feelings have run high at times, but the conclusion has been on the whole positive. Be careful not to carry the negative attributes along to the next chapter with you, be it fears, emotions and experiences. The past should remain there. Your meeting will be paramount to ensuring you have made the right choices up until now. You are at first glance opposites. Your personality and theirs appear to be poles apart, yet you will find common ground which gives you a footing to build upon. You may be from different cultures, backgrounds, or have an age gap. You may not be physically attracted to each other at first. You may have in fact met before, but not seen each other in the same light. Give everyone a chance and gauge them for their personality, their actions, and their individual merits, as this will give you a true picture of who they truly are. I was trying to get an idea of some of the places you may potentially meet, and these are the things that sprang to mind. At a May Day fair or a spring festival, around or just after you receive a sign from a loved one who has passed, where a scroll is giving out or on display, watching skilled ice skaters, where bright balls, balloons or bubbles are, near or on an ornate bench or seating area, a connection to some kind of allergy, be it sneezing or such like, where a party involves steps out into the fresh air, where a sword fight or fencing takes place, where a talking bird makes you laugh, on or near a love swing, near where white roses or flowers' scent is so very strong, in a forest or near a wealth of trees, and for some reason there's a connection to hazelnut in particular, after a drink is spilt, somewhere where there's lots of butterflies, and finally where actors play roles or depict scenes of the past. The next batch of cards are how your relationship will progress, and we have the Five of Cups, the Moon, the Tower, the Nine of Coins, and the King of Cups. The relationship will be slow to find its potential and may in fact start as a friendship which crawls slowly into something more. There's an essence of both of you enjoying the single life, and whilst you enjoy being a couple, there may be hesitation to move in the relationship onto the next stage. There may be elements that you do not know about each other, and learning these at a slower pace allows the relationship to stay fresh, but this can also prevent you from feeling as close as you could do. Keep communication channels open and be prepared to be open about your feelings, what might be lacking and how things can improve. You may find that you both actually want the same things but express it in different ways, and this can bring you closer together. The next cards are the obstacles, and we have the Five of Clubs, the King of Swords, and the Ace of Clubs. There have been a few piles where obstacles have involved other people. It could be an ex-partner, family, friend, work colleague, or friend of your significant other. This energy is masculine and appears to have caused friction either openly in the past or in a more discreet and devious way. Sadly, they appear to be out for their own agenda and what they want. Remain calm but firm and follow what your head says and not your heart. The next cards are what they admire about you. And we have intuitive, healthy, and receptive to others. There are a lot of attributes that they admire about you, and many they wish they had themselves. You are intuitive, knowing what often follows situations, people's moods, knowing what to do and say when things fall apart. You are also receptive to others, offering advice and encouraging people to reach out to you when they are in need rather than suffering alone. They like the way you look after yourself, although they feel there is one area you can improve. Making more time for yourself and becoming the best version of yourself. The last batch of cards are things that you will learn about yourself in this relationship. And the first one is Auburn, number 11, ground yourself. Scarlet, number 7, attract success. And number 35, Cyan, build your confidence. Auburn is a colour of regeneration. Like autumn, it is true when the leaves fall and a new cycle begins. This colour is one of intelligence, learning from the past and grounding one's feelings. Scarlet is a colour of passion, power and strength, and dynamic energy. These attributes give you the ability to catapult your dreams into reality. And Cyan is a colour of calm, relaxation and balance. It is also connected to building confidence, communication skills and clarity. So that's the end of part 1 of the reading. I have another section at the end of this video, part 2, where you can pick a deck chair, flip-flops and extend this reading just at the end of this video. If you check the timestamps down below, you can locate that and pick up on part 2. So if you pick the red beach heart, here are your cards. But we're going to start first of all with our postcard from our potential suitor about their feelings on the beach. And it says, "My dearest darling you, I sit on a boat as it skims the waves. The view of the horizon is an epic array of colour brightening the sky. The shore with its pristine golden sand looks breathtaking. In the distance, dolphins dance playfully around the boat. The sea breeze is cool and calming in the heat of such a lovely day. The scene is idyllic. You would absolutely love it. I truly wish you were here beside me. Fondly yours," and 3 kisses. I always think it's a nice way to start the readings, to have some kind of contact or connection with your potential suitor. So now on to the cards. The first card is the masculine energy, which is number 32, the Hawk Spirit. Let Spirit be your guide. The person represented by the Hawk Spirit card is one who flies above the rest. They stand out for some reason. They may be more theatrical than others, be at the helm, command attention for various reasons. They are busy people. They rarely have time to worry about others' opinions of them, so can appear a little brash or uncaring in certain circumstances. The Hawk Spirit has a plan. They know where they're going and, most importantly, how to get there. They are determined. Little stands in their way, and when they meet obstacles, they are adept at finding other routes and solutions to combat the setback. On the rare occasions where they are met with more substantial problems, they take time to walk away, lick their wounds and process the situation, but quickly learn from experience. They will soon be back at striving for what is important to them. The feminine energy is number 36, Pixie Perro. The Pixie Perro denotes a person who is true to their core, someone who holds great strength. Life may have challenged this, and at times they may have felt anything but strong, but they have weathered the storm, been knocked and unsettled by things they have experienced. Their ability to pull things together, to face another day and to smile through the diversity is second to none. But all the changes, upheaval and morphing has come at a price. They may have lost sight of the first and most beautiful version of themselves and need to look back to what made them happy, what made their primal values, and what and how to get that sparkle back into their everyday lives. This is a person who, like an arrow, needs to be pulled back to be propelled into great things, and needs to be reminded that phases and cycles are temporary, and each teaches a new lesson to become who we need to be. The next batch of cards are the energy when you will meet. We have the Emperor's New Clothes, the Guardian of the Crystals, the Three of Crystals, and Wishing Upon a Star. When you meet, there appears to have been some form of letdown. Plans have gone awry. Things you felt would be completed may have faced delays or been cancelled completely. Where plans have gone ahead, it may not have been as you would have imagined it to be. There is some form of depleting feeling where all is not as it seems. This will allow time to reassess your situation, to reassert your desires, and to work out what you really want. You cannot recoup what is lost or change what has happened, but you can plan a more positive future. There will be much to celebrate once this phase is over, and get-togethers, parties, events, and much more positive situations will bring happiness and are well starred at this point in time. So I tried to gauge a few ideas of places you may meet, and these are what sprang to mind. On or around the earshot of children's laughter, where trees are illuminated with stunning array of lights, around or connected to twins, on a journey, where hammering breaks your concentration, in a bird or wildlife sanctuary, where water is enclosed by grassy banks, near a fort or a castle, where strong winds sweep away or alter your plans, where a world globe appears, where jewellery is hidden behind glass, near a ladder or a spiral staircase, or at an air show where planes play a part. For one of you, there will be a snow globe that will feature in your meeting. For another, you will see a small wooden door with some kind of carving within it. And finally, for one of you, a wishing well will be a significant factor of you coming together. The next batch of cards are how the relationship will progress, and you have Temperance, the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. It's quite likely that this combination will see you working together on something. You like to help each other in any way you can, so it is possible that one of you may seek assistance from another to help elevate a project. Could be a hobby or an idea, but it will bring it to a higher level. Whilst you are similar in many ways, you bring different things to the table and have your own individual outlooks, which can bring something to fruition quicker together than if left to a single party. There's an essence of one of you being slightly more forthright than the other, and this may need to be honed to keep the relationship balanced and in good stead. For one or two of you, you may share similar features in your looks, and this may cause confusion with people feeling that you are family rather than in a relationship. You or your significant other may need to put one or more of your dreams on hold for a short time, but if you still have a burning desire to proceed when the time is right, things will work better because of this pause. The next couple of cards are potential obstacles, and we have the Three of Diamonds, the Ace of Spades, and the Five of Hearts. The element of work seems to be an obstacle that has potential to come between you. Maybe it's through lack of time or for financial security for the future, but it is about balance and how to achieve it in your situation. There is potential for things to shake up your plans or to disrupt what you look forward to doing. Disappointing as it may be, things do happen for a reason, and time is the key as to why things morph and change as they do. Make firm choices, and if in doubt, allow things to be sorted by themselves. When everything fits into place, the choice will be made for you and will be well starred to help you on your way. The next batch of cards is what they admire about you, and we have spirituality, happy, and grounded. They like your zest for knowledge, how inquisitive you are, and how you deduce things. Your intellect sparks theirs, and they enjoy your conversations both on what you agree on and what you challenge with their beliefs. They feel you open their eyes to new ways of seeing things and a wealth of facts to add to their own. To them, you have an adventurous spirit and are young at heart with your attitude to everyday things. They want to learn more about your spiritual feelings, but if you are still opening up to these yourself, this may not be viable at the present time. They also like the way people feel safe in your presence, turn to you for advice, and how your demeanour shifts to incorporate whoever or whatever the situation. The last couple of cards relate to what you learn about yourself in this relationship, and you have number 2, Red, number 6, Rose, attract a relationship. You have 23, Lemon, access innovative thinking, and number 34, Turquoise, awaken your empathy. And for the other piles, I was only picking 1 or 2 of these cards, but these 4 literally flew out, so I kept them all for the reading. So red is a vibrant colour for unlimited resources, vitality, energy and determination. It can also be a colour of power and destruction. Knowing you are at the helm of both of these entities means you find clarity and balance in both as it is needed. Rose is a colour of nurturing, not only oneself, but being ready to open and share yourself with another in a relationship. It can also be a hue to heal low self-esteem and to ease self-criticism. Lemon is the colour of creativity, injecting lateral thinking ways into everyday situations. It is the inventive and productive sides of ourselves coming together to work successfully as one. And finally, turquoise denotes being at ease with our innermost feelings, harnessing our judgment and cultivating empathy and strengthening communication. So that's part 1 of the reading. If you go to the end of this video, there's part 2 where you can pick a deck chair, flip-flops and find out several other attributes of this potential suitor. Check the timestamps down below. If you pick the orange beach hut, here are your cards, but we're going to start off with your postcard from your potential suitor. And it says, "My sweet, I enjoy walking along the shore, my feet on the damp sand, the waves weaving between my toes, before returning back to sea. I rest on a small cluster of rocks shaded by a tree, and I sit to watch the beach come to life. Children's laughter fills the air, their splashes in the water causes a stir. Kites dance in the sky, flying, twirling, and dragging their handlers far below them. Couples walk hand in hand, sharing such a stunning day. I watch the fun and frivolity, and all I can think of is you. This is where you should be, next to me, and I truly cannot wait for the time that you are. All my love, and 3 kisses." I always think it's really nice to start off with a reading and with a letter in that manner. It's quite a nice way just to start off. And now on to the cards. So the first card is the masculine energy, and it is card number 16, the Coyote Spirit, trust in divine detours. The person represented by the Coyote Spirit card is one who is quick-witted, fast-paced and hard to pin down. They enjoy being tricksters or pranking people, although they are not so keen if the joke is reversed on them. They have often faced a lot in life and will be the first to admit that they have done what they can under quite harsh circumstances to get by. They love the thrill, and as each subsides, they look for the next. They could be labelled workaholics or adrenaline junkies, as they seem to have little thought for slowing down or savouring the moment. The archetypical rough and ready springs to mind, although they may cleverly hide this behind a smart and prim exterior. But you can be guaranteed that their true self, when it is uncovered, there will be fireworks. The next card is the feminine energy of Tiger Angel. The card of the Tiger Angel reflects a person who has two very different sides to their personality. The first is kind, caring and nurturing, the type of person who gains fulfillment by helping others who are truly in need. They can be critical of others who feel coming to the aid of others or trying to fix a broken world is pointless and gives little back to the one with the healing essence. But they are not your everyday person and strive to make a better world one step at a time. The other side to this personality is the fiercely protective side, which will do anything and everything to shield those dear to them. This more feisty side to their personality has the ability to grow if unleashed, leading to more spontaneous attributes and a slightly wilder side, which lies behind their demure facade, which they keep at the fore. The next cards are the energy when you'll meet, and you have the Guide of Swords, the Eight of Hearts, the Ten of Hearts, and the Three Little Pigs. You may already know this person, as the meeting indicates that this is when you connect fully. Alternatively, you may have heard of each other through mutual friends or via social media connections. Either way, the connection comes at a time when there is a lot going on. Nestled in busy times is an opportunity to help others, those less fortunate or in need of assistance. Sacrificing time, resources and energy brings rewards. A need to beware of others who will try and take advantage is needed. You may need to outwit someone who is out to get what they can from a situation they can see evolving. The opportunist could learn a lot from this situation if they are shown how to use their skills in a productive way to help rather than to hinder. Your actions are being noted and acknowledged by a higher sense in the darkest of days and unbeknownst to you. I tried to get some kind of idea about where you may potentially meet, and the things that sprung to mind were where animals and water mix, in a circus, trying a new food or drink which causes a stir, where flowers are grand and dancers are beautifully dressed, at a spiritual festival or a mind-body-spirit event, on a walk or a hike, at a music concert, where horses roam wild, where you need special clothing for inclement weather, in a hospital, near a picture or depiction of a mermaid. For one of you, it will be near a witch-style cauldron, and for another, you will meet near a statue that connects to your past. And finally, for one of you, the shadows that dance in a fire will indicate their initials. The next batch of cards are how the relationship will progress, and you have the Five of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Three of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. The relationship will begin slow but gain momentum quickly as you get to know one another. You may hear or say the words "I love you" before you normally would, as you get wrapped up and carried away by the feelings and emotions of someone whose connection mirrors yours. You have much to celebrate and enjoy while times are good and going well. Be prepared for a lull, the inevitable dip as you morph from a happy doting couple to a stronger bond. Love comes in many guises, and when one part of a relationship calms down, a new phase evolves. Enjoy each stage and stay in the present. Also be prepared for a friend or relative that does not meet you until later in the relationship and who may take longer to warm to your relationship. The next cards are any obstacles that may be in the relationship, and we have the Eight of Hearts, the Four of Clubs, and the Seven of Clubs. There are very few obstacles in this relationship, and those that there are quite petty. Minor disappointments can overshadow joy and can cause bickering. Similarly, there can be issues if you decide to live under the same roof, or if you move closer to each other quite soon in the relationship. You may feel in bad times that you have to defend your opinions, thoughts that in good times were praised and agreed. Relationships face dark times, but as long as you are honest, communicate and convey how you feel, there are ways to rectify any issues. They just need time and you both to admit that it takes two to work things out. The next cards are what they admire about you, and we have willpower, feeling, and fear. They like the way you are open with your feelings and the way you put yourself in others' positions to show empathy in an array of situations. You can show vulnerability or fear of the unknown without embarrassment, and this allows others to help and assist without you asking, as they know when you are in need. You show the utmost willpower, whether it is to resist the urge to open a gift before it is due, or if you are trying to stick to a new diet or regime for spending or health. There is much to admire you for, and most of these things you treat as everyday traits that everyone possesses, but this is by no means true. And the final cards are what you will learn from the relationship. And you have 29 grey, learn to scan your body. 41 plum, overcome your challenges. And 42 lilac, strengthen your faith. Grey denotes blockages, be it in your thought patterns, chakras, in your aura, or getting to your goals. The appearance of this colour shows that you are learning alternative ways to combat challenging situations. Plum is the colour in this deck, connected to dedication, commitment, devotion, and creates a deep and lasting bond. It also is a colour of strength and faith. And the lilac card encourages the expression of intuition, psychic abilities, and promoting your spiritual awareness and their growth. So that's the end of part 1 of this reading. Part 2 is at the end of this video. If you look at the timestamps, there's an opportunity to pick a deck chair, pick flip-flops, and to get much more information on this potential suitor. So that's at the end of this video for part 2. So if you pick the Yellow Beach Hut, here are your cards, but we're going to start off with your postcard from your potential suitor first and how they feel about you in their beach visit. And it reads, wonderful you. A day at the beach always reminds me of wistful childhood summers. Buckets and spades, deck chairs, sandy feet, and trying to keep the picnic from the seagulls swooping above. Now when I revisit the shores, I appreciate other factors. The peace and serenity of the sprawling sand before me, the calming essence of the rolling waves, and the reassuring warmth of the sun on my face. My happiness would be increased with my love being by my side, but sadly this is yet to be. I hope in my heart we will connect soon, so we can share this and so much more. Hugs and kisses, and then 3 kisses. I always think it's quite nice to start off with something that brings a connection between the two of you before going on to the cards. So the first card we have is the masculine essence, which is number 23, and it's the Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. A person symbolised with the Eagle Spirit is someone who is level-headed, trustworthy and diplomatic. Mentally, they may be slightly older than their earth years, as they have accomplished a remarkable amount in comparison to their peers. They have faced plights that they may not share, but which have shaped and formed their character today. The eagle spirit lifts the emotions of those around them. They are often teachers, leaders, doctors, people who help a wealth of people and take this in their stride daily. They love their creature comforts, and their home is where they love to be. Whilst they enjoy travel and may have visited places far, far away, home is truly where the heart is for this individual. Next is the feminine energy, which is Circus of Love. The person symbolised by the Circus of Love card is one who is surrounded by love, but who may not feel love in a romantic form at this time. They may watch others in their connections, couples on dates, walking hand in hand, yet love in this form evades them. They have love by way of friends and family, but this is not the same as a special connection that two people share when they are in a relationship and in love with each other. They may find that they are amazing matchmakers, bringing other similar souls together and using their intuition to work out who would work together, meet, evolve and blossom. Yet they are still the single cog, feeling very much like they are invisible to Cupid's arrow. The love in their heart has been brimming for some time, and they have been more than ready to share this with a potential suitor. But the person who they will connect with has not been ready until now. The next cards are the energy when you'll meet, and you have the Six of Hearts, Peter Pan, the Three of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. The essence of this energy when you meet is based around birth. It may be a physical birth and a child is welcome into the world, or it may be a metaphorical birth where something has come into being. It may be a book you have been writing, a course you have completed, a project that has come to fruition. Whatever the baby of this situation is, it has taken time and effort to get to this stage, and whilst there is now a pause, it will take further strength and direction to guide it to its optimum outcome. The journey has started, but is no means completed. There may be torn allegiances between what has been worked upon and this new relationship. There is also a chance that one of you may have a child or children, or that there is a pregnancy early in this relationship. Whatever the situation, a need for slow, methodical thought and planning is required to bring out the best results. Try to get an idea of where you may meet or indications to where this connection may happen, and I came up with in a place where dresses or suits are tailored, near a grand old tree, when you or someone else close to you is playing or listening to a band, in a maternity ward or a baby clinic, near an elephant in some form or another, where a brightly coloured bird flies around or where it speaks, when you are wearing red, near a grapevine or a vineyard, when you are watched by a dragon or a gargoyle. One of you will meet on a boat with a strange or special name. Another of you will meet in a room with a very high window. And finally, for one of you, you will be lucky when lightning strikes. The next set of cards are how the relationship progresses, and we have the King of Swords, the Four of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Five of Wands. One of you seems to be quite closed off with your emotions. It might be fear of judgment from the perspective of someone that they actually have great feeling for, or they may worry about how you're going to perceive parts of their life that you don't know about. The feeling of keeping information from each other, or possibly worst case scenario, someone hiding things, needs to come to the surface in order to be faced. There could be arguments and disagreements over this, or based on where you live possibly. It appears to be a bone of contention and will not go away until it is dealt with. If one of you offers a listening ear and a promise to deal with things with an open mind, that would be a good basis of rectifying this and restoring the faith and original feelings that you had for one another at the outset. The next cards are any obstacles, and we have the King of Clubs, the Four of Diamonds, and the Six of Spades. There's a potential for a person to come between you. We've had this in quite a few piles where people seem to be interfering with opinions or people coming back. It's a forthright figure who holds sway over one of you. I think it may be an ex-partner or someone who feels that they are more in your lives than they really are. It could be someone who has been rebuffed or a secret admirer who has not had a chance with you in a relationship with you or your partner. One of you appears to be carrying wounds from a previous area of your life, something that has been left in the past but the scars of which are echoing through current relationships of all kinds. Until this is processed, it can't be fully released, and until then the new cannot replace the old and the outdated. So the next batch of cards are what they admire about you, and you have focused, open, and belonging. They like your open heart and the fact that you are so welcoming. You ooze a sense of belonging and people gravitate to you as you make them feel cared for and complete. You are focused and driven individual and have rigorous and strict values that you stick to at all costs. You have the ability to mask your true feelings, although those who know you well can see when you need to share something. You put others before your own needs, and again, this is a trait you have always been admired for. And the last batch of cards are what you learned from this relationship. And with a couple of the piles, I was really only aiming for a couple of cards, but these group of cards shot out, so I've included them all. So you've got quite a few. You have number 37, blue, activate your healing power. You have 28, black, find riches from the dark night. You have number 20, apricot, rejoice and laugh. And you have number 19, peach, inhale a breath of life. The cards black and blue shot out together, which I think may relate to the hurt that might have been suffered in the past. Your heart may feel battered, or you may feel that you have been cajoled into situations that have not been beneficial in any sense. Blue is a healing colour, activating communication and leading to a calm influence. Black card signifies divine wisdom. Black dissolves negativity and offers protection and a form of retreat. Apricot replaces irrational fears and anxieties with vitality, joy and zest back into your life. And peach, like apricot, releases tension and stress. It's a colour that embraces gentleness, kindness and prosperity. So that's the end of part 1 of the reading. Part 2 is actually at the end of this video. If you look at the description box with the timestamp, it will lead you on to part 2, which is picking a deck chair, flip-flops, etc., to give you more traits and information about this potential suitor. If you pick the green beach hut, here are your cards, but we're going to start with a postcard from your potential suitor and their view from the beach. And it says, "Dearest one, this is the holiday we have dreamed of, the warm sand beneath our feet, the waves sweeping in before trickling back to sea, the temperature of the day cooling slightly with the breeze as the sun slowly lowers below the horizon. The only thing missing is you. I cannot wait for you to join me and to enjoy this most precious of memories. Yours forever," and 3 kisses. I always think it's a lovely way to start the readings, to have some kind of contact with the potential suitor. And then we'll move on to the cards. And your first card, which is the masculine influence, is card number 9. It's the brown bear spirit, take time out. The card brown bear spirit represents someone who on the outside seems like an imposing character, yet on the inside they have a soft and cuddly side. If slighted or taken advantage of, this person would come down and call out that behaviour. They can be one to overreact, although they would never admit it. They are not frightened of hard work and know what is needed to reap the rewards. They enjoy the finer things in life, knowing they deserve it for their efforts. They also know how to look after themselves. They may not be in the gym every day, but enjoy looking after themselves with walks or sports they enjoy, and spending valuable downtime doing things that feed their mental health in a positive way. The next card is the female energy, which is her wicked ways. The card Her Wicked Ways depicts an image of a snow queen, the archetypical ice maiden who can freeze someone out with a simple glare, or who rebuffs advances with an aloof flick of her hair. Wrongly seen as heartless, this is not the case. She has been hurt, spurred, the subject of unrequited love possibly, and left to analyse the fallout. Has her pain become bitterness, her broken heart shattered beyond repair? The truth is, she is hidden behind what she knows. She feels safer pushing someone away than laying bare her heart to be decimated again. She has become hardened to love and romance, as it is an emotion she no longer feels capable of. With the right person, her heart will melt, love will flow into her life, and she will regain the colour to her cheeks and the zest for romance and all that comes with it. She just has to find the right one. The next batch of cards are the energy when you'll meet, and you have the Ace of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the Ace of Crystals. Finding each other will feel like discovering the Holy Grail, the moment Excalibur came out of the stone, a time of mystic and magic beyond belief. This may not be how you both view it at the same time, but you will both come to the same reasoning. For some reason, in the early stages, there may be reason to keep the relationship secret or under wraps, to express only to a handful of very close friends and family. The pressures of this will weigh heavy on the relationship, and it is not until the point where you are happy to express your feelings to one another openly that the relationship will be ready to grow and blossom, but that will come over time. Now, I tried to get a guide to where you may meet each other, and this is what came through. Where a sword or swords are displayed on a wall, near a beautiful fountain, where camping takes place or under a huge marquee, via social media, where uniforms are worn or photographs are taken, watching a beautiful sky or scenery, where the smell of food tantalises the taste buds, near a rare or unusual car, in a place where you must remain silent, watching a sports game, or near some sort of very heavyweight velvet curtains. One of you will meet at a kissing gate. For another, you will meet in an emergency department of a hospital. And for another of you, a brass band will accompany your meeting. The next batch of cards are how the relationship will progress. And we have the Queen of Wands, the Lovers, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. You will have to align your calendars, as neither of you expected to meet one another and you both have quite busy schedules. Thankfully, your friends and families are happy to welcome you into each other's folds. There may be two people close to you who may begin a relationship after being introduced by you, and you bring in your families or groups of friends closer together. There may be a lull in feelings after a short while as you both become a little complacent, and this is the time to consider booking the trip you discussed or to get into the adventure that you have indicated you will both enjoy. Your relationship will make progress quite fast, so ensure that this is what you want, as to put the brakes on too far down the line if you are at all unsure may cause heartbreak for both of you. The next couple of cards are any obstacles that you may face in this relationship, and you have the Two of Spades, the King of Hearts, and the Nine of Hearts. A high number of these readings have had people intervening or another person coming up as an obstacle, and this is the same in this case. Again, it could be a friend or family or an ex-partner. It could just be somebody with an opinion that doesn't necessarily like your relationship. If it will only have space in your relationship if you give it space. If a third party is encouraged, they will make an impact on how strong your relationship is. If you still have feelings for somebody else, you owe it to yourself and others involved to be honest rather than to throw caution to the wind and to worry about picking the pieces up later. Keep your ear to the ground and your eyes open for those who appear not to want your relationship to flourish, as they may have an agenda as to why. The next couple of cards are what they admire about you, and you have limiting beliefs, clairvoyant, and creative. They like the way you link into your intuition and your psychic skills and attributes, and that you have honed them over years. You have a flair for creative skills. In many cases, you have not fully fulfilled this potential, and given more time, you would benefit from dabbling with this beyond a hobby. It can be cultivated potentially into business or something bigger. They admire how you keep your boundaries tight and how devoted you are to your beliefs. They take a valid interest in what you do, as they want to learn from you to help understand you better. And these last cards are what you'll learn from the relationship. We have 38 Sapphire, Regenerate Your Body. We have 22 Yellow, Purify Your Body. And then we have 15 Amber, Awaken Your Creativity. Sapphire is a healing colour, offering nourishment, element, soothing the mind. It also calms the nerves and clears blockages. Yellow is a colour of intellect and mental stimulation. It is a reassurance that better days are ahead. Amber is an acceleration colour, increasing creativity and strengthening manifestation abilities, and showing pure and simple ways to gain deeper bonds in relationships and with giving and receiving affection. So that's part one of the reading. There is part two at the end of this video. There's an option to pick a deck chair, flip-flops, etc. to gain some more attributes and traits of this potential suitor, but check the description box below for guidance towards where it is at the end of the video. Let's find out a little bit more about this potential suitor's ideal holiday destination. Here we've got 6 deck chairs. Pick a colour: blue, black, red, yellow, purple or green. So if you pick the blue chair, oh, hang on a second, someone's put some beach towels in your chair. Hold on a minute. So while we've got the beach towels here, let's use them to get a timescale on when you're likely to connect to this person. So pick a beach towel. If you pick the green beach towel, the favourable times are February, April, October, near your or their birthday. If you pick the yellow beach towel, the favourable times are March, July, December, on or around the full moon. If you pick the salmon beach towel, the favourable times are May, August, November and on high days and holidays. If you pick the blue beach towel, the favourable times are January, June, September or on or near a new moon. If you pick the blue chair, they like long stretches of stunning sand with endless coastlines and magnificent sunsets across the horizon. Next, we're going to pick some flip-flops to find out their personality traits, good and bad. So you have a choice of green, red, yellow, pink, blue or orange. If you pick the green flip-flops, they'll be dutiful, loyal, witty, determined but cautious. If you pick the red flip-flops, they'll be dynamic, innovative, suave, experimental but domineering. If you pick the yellow flip-flops, they'll be confident, observant, perceptive, generous but assertive. If you picked the pink flip-flops, they will be charismatic, resourceful, complex, sociable but frivolous. If you pick the blue flip-flops, they'll be humble, intelligent, enthusiastic, old-fashioned but cynical. If you pick the orange flip-flops, they'll be courageous, self-sufficient, meticulous, ambitious but envious. For the next part of the reading, we want to know if there's anything we can do ourselves to bring this connection into being, if we can speed up meeting this person, or if we can aid the universe to bring them into our lives any quicker. So, pick a bucket from the 6 that are shown, starting on the left with the blue, through to the red, yellow, purple, pale pink and cerise, and let's find out if there's anything you can do to help this situation along. If you pick the blue bucket, if you've been thinking of changing your style, clothes, hair, places you visit, change is a positive thing at the moment. If you pick the red bucket, if you were asked to help a good cause or to contribute time to aid a friend, business or charity, take up the chance. If you pick the yellow bucket, consider night classes or education options to expand your knowledge and the chances of meeting your match. If you pick the purple bucket, view people you meet with your soul and heart rather than your eyes. You'll be surprised at what happens. If you pick the pale pink bucket, go for it. Work on the project that's been held back or ideas that have been neglected, as now is the time. If you pick the cerise bucket, accept invitations you receive where you may usually say no, especially in new places or when you lack confidence. If you pick the black chair, oh, hold on a minute, someone's left a load of beach towels in your chair. Bear with me. So while we've got the beach towels here, let's use them to get a timescale on when you're likely to connect to this person. So pick a beach towel. If you pick the green beach towel, the favourable times are February, April, October, near your or their birthday. If you pick the yellow beach towel, the favourable times are March, July, December, on or around the full moon. If you pick the salmon beach towel, the favourable times are May, August, November and on high days and holidays. If you pick the blue beach towel, the favourable times are January, June, September or on or near a new moon. If you pick the black chair, they're going to love the tourist trail with camera in hand. Ruins, castles, statues. If it has history or a story, it will spark their interest. Next, we're going to pick some flip-flops to find out their personality traits, good and bad. So you have a choice of green, red, yellow, pink, blue or orange. If you pick the green flip-flops, they'll be dutiful, loyal, witty, determined but cautious. If you pick the red flip-flops, they'll be dynamic, innovative, suave, experimental but domineering. If you pick the yellow flip-flops, they'll be confident, observant, perceptive, generous but assertive. If you picked the pink flip-flops, they will be charismatic, resourceful, complex, sociable but frivolous. If you pick the blue flip-flops, they'll be humble, intelligent, enthusiastic, old-fashioned but cynical. If you pick the orange flip-flops, they'll be courageous, self-sufficient, meticulous, ambitious but envious. For the next part of the reading, we want to know if there's anything we can do ourselves to bring this connection into being. If we can speed up meeting this person, or if we can aid the universe to bring them into our lives any quicker. So, pick a bucket from the 6 that are shown, starting on the left with the blue, through to the red, yellow, purple, pale pink and cerise, and let's find out if there's anything you can do to help this situation along. If you pick the blue bucket, if you've been thinking of changing your style, clothes, hair, places you visit, change is a positive thing at the moment. If you pick the red bucket, if you were asked to help a good cause or to contribute time to aid a friend, business or charity, take up the chance. If you pick the yellow bucket, consider night classes or education options to expand your knowledge and the chances of meeting your match. If you pick the purple bucket, view people you meet with your soul and heart rather than your eyes. You'll be surprised at what happens. If you pick the pale pink bucket, go for it. Work on the project that's been held back or ideas that have been neglected, as now is the time. If you pick the cerise bucket, accept invitations you receive where you may usually say no, especially in new places or when you lack confidence. If you pick the red chair, oh, someone's left a load of beach towels on your chair. Hold on a moment. So while we've got the beach towels here, let's use them to get a timescale on when you're likely to connect to this person. So pick a beach towel. If you pick the green beach towel, the favourable times are February, April, October, near your or their birthday. If you pick the yellow beach towel, the favourable times are March, July, December, on or around the full moon. If you pick the salmon beach towel, the favourable times are May, August, November and on high days and holidays. If you pick the blue beach towel, the favourable times are January, June, September or on or near a new moon. If you pick the red chair, they have a specific dream holiday, a luxury destination which they have only wanted to visit when they have met their one and only. Next, we're going to pick some flip-flops to find out their personality traits, good and bad. So you have a choice of green, red, yellow, pink, blue or orange. If you pick the green flip-flops, They'll be dutiful, loyal, witty, determined, but cautious. If you pick the red flip-flops, they'll be dynamic, innovative, suave, experimental, but domineering. If you pick the yellow flip-flops, they'll be confident, observant, perceptive, generous, but assertive. If you picked the pink flip-flops, they will be charismatic, resourceful, complex, sociable, but frivolous. If you pick the blue flip-flops, they'll be humble, intelligent, enthusiastic, old-fashioned, but cynical. If you pick the orange flip-flops, they'll be courageous, self-sufficient, meticulous, ambitious, but envious. For the next part of the reading, we want to know if there's anything we can do ourselves to bring this connection into being. If we can speed up meeting this person, or if we can aid the universe to bring them into our lives any quicker. So, pick a bucket from the 6 that are shown, starting on the left with the blue, through to the red, yellow, purple, pale pink and cerise, and let's find out if there's anything you can do to help this situation along. If you pick the blue bucket, if you've been thinking of changing your style, clothes, hair, places you visit, change is a positive thing at the moment. If you pick the red bucket, if you were asked to help a good cause or to contribute time to aid a friend, business or charity, take up the chance. If you pick the yellow bucket, consider night classes or education options to expand your knowledge and the chances of meeting your match. If you pick the purple bucket, view people you meet with your soul and heart rather than your eyes. You'll be surprised at what happens. If you pick the pale pink bucket, go for it. Work on the project that's been held back or ideas that have been neglected, as now is the time. If you pick the cerise bucket, accept invitations you receive where you may usually say no, especially in new places or when you lack confidence. If you pick the yellow chair, oh, someone's left a load of beach towels in your chair. Hold on a second. So while we've got the beach towels here, let's use them to get a timescale on when you're likely to connect to this person. So pick a beach towel. If you pick the green beach towel, the favourable times are February, April, October, near your or their birthday. If you pick the yellow beach towel, the favourable times are March, July, December, on or around the full moon. If you pick the salmon beach towel, the favourable times are May, August, November and on high days and holidays. If you pick the blue beach towel, the favourable times are January, June, September or on or near a new moon. If you pick the yellow chair, they'll enjoy lush green scenery and classic homely cottages. Next, we're going to pick some flip-flops to find out their personality traits, good and bad. So you have a choice of green, red, yellow, pink, blue or orange. If you pick the green flip-flops, they'll be dutiful, loyal, witty, determined, but cautious. If you pick the red flip-flops, they'll be dynamic, innovative, suave, experimental, but domineering. If you pick the yellow flip-flops, they'll be confident, observant, perceptive, generous, but assertive. If you picked the pink flip-flops, they will be charismatic, resourceful, complex, sociable, but frivolous. If you pick the blue flip-flops, they'll be humble, intelligent, enthusiastic, old-fashioned, but cynical. If you pick the orange flip-flops, they'll be courageous, self-sufficient, meticulous, ambitious, but envious. For the next part of the reading, we want to know if there's anything we can do ourselves to bring this connection into being. If we can speed up meeting this person, or if we can aid the universe to bring them into our lives any quicker. So, pick a bucket from the 6 that are shown, starting on the left with the blue, through to the red, yellow, purple, pale pink and cerise, and let's find out if there's anything you can do to help this situation along. If you pick the blue bucket, if you've been thinking of changing your style, clothes, hair, places you visit, change is a positive thing at the moment. If you pick the red bucket, if you were asked to help a good cause or to contribute time to aid a friend, business or charity, take up the chance. If you pick the yellow bucket, consider night classes or education options to expand your knowledge and the chances of meeting your match. If you pick the purple bucket, view people you meet with your soul and heart rather than your eyes. You'll be surprised at what happens. If you pick the pale pink bucket, go for it. Work on the project that's been held back or ideas that have been neglected, as now is the time. If you pick the cerise bucket, accept invitations you receive where you may usually say no, especially in new places or when you lack confidence. If you pick the purple chair, oh, someone's left a bunch of beach towels in your chair. Give me a moment. So while we've got the beach towels here, let's use them to get a timescale on when you're likely to connect to this person. So pick a beach towel. If you pick the green beach towel, the favourable times are February, April, October, near your or their birthday. If you pick the yellow beach towel, the favourable times are March, July, December, on or around the full moon. If you pick the salmon beach towel, the favourable times are May, August, November, and on high days and holidays. If you pick the blue beach towel, the favourable times are January, June, September, or on or near a new moon. If you pick the purple deck chair, city breaks will be their thing, albeit a gondola in Venice, a bicycle in Amsterdam, or a tuk-tuk in Bangkok. They'll thrive on the bustle of city life. Next, we're going to pick some flip-flops to find out their personality traits, good and bad. So you have a choice of green, red, yellow, pink, blue, or orange. If you pick the green flip-flops, they'll be dutiful, loyal, witty, determined, but cautious. If you pick the red flip-flops, they'll be dynamic, innovative, suave, experimental, but domineering. If you pick the yellow flip-flops, they'll be confident, observant, perceptive, generous, but assertive. If you picked the pink flip-flops, they will be charismatic, resourceful, complex, sociable, but frivolous. If you pick the blue flip-flops, they'll be humble, intelligent, enthusiastic, old-fashioned, but cynical. If you pick the orange flip-flops, they'll be courageous, self-sufficient, meticulous, ambitious, but envious. For the next part of the reading, we want to know if there's anything we can do ourselves to bring this connection into being. If we can speed up meeting this person, or if we can aid the universe to bring them into our lives any quicker. So, pick a bucket from the 6 that are shown, starting on the left with the blue, through to the red, yellow, purple, pale pink and cerise, and let's find out if there's anything you can do to help this situation along. If you pick the blue bucket, if you've been thinking of changing your style, clothes, hair, places you visit, change is a positive thing at the moment. If you pick the red bucket, if you were asked to help a good cause or to contribute time to aid a friend, business or charity, take up the chance. If you pick the yellow bucket, consider night classes or education options to expand your knowledge and the chances of meeting your match. If you pick the purple bucket, view people you meet with your soul and heart rather than your eyes. You'll be surprised at what happens. If you pick the pale pink bucket, go for it. Work on the project that's been held back or ideas that have been neglected, as now is the time. If you pick the cerise bucket, accept invitations you receive where you may usually say no, especially in new places or when you lack confidence. If you pick the green chair, oh, someone seems to have left some beach towels in your chair. Bear with me for a moment. So while we've got the beach towels here, let's use them to get a timescale on when you're likely to connect to this person. So pick a beach towel. If you pick the green beach towel, the favourable times are February, April, October, near your or their birthday. If you pick the yellow beach towel, the favourable times are March, July, December, on or around the full moon. If you pick the salmon beach towel, the favourable times are May, August, November and on high days and holidays. If you pick the blue beach towel, the favourable times are January, June, September or on or near a new moon. If you pick the green deck chair, physical activity is the name of the game. Tennis, water polo, skiing. If it needs energy and raises the adrenaline, they'll love it. Next, we're going to pick some flip-flops to find out their personality traits, good and bad. So you have a choice of green, red, yellow, pink, blue or orange. If you pick the green flip-flops, they'll be dutiful, loyal, witty, determined, but cautious. If you pick the red flip-flops, they'll be dynamic, innovative, suave, experimental, but domineering. If you pick the yellow flip-flops, they'll be confident, observant, perceptive, generous, but assertive. If you picked the pink flip-flops, they will be charismatic, resourceful, complex, sociable, but frivolous. If you pick the blue flip-flops, they'll be humble, intelligent, enthusiastic, old-fashioned, but cynical. If you pick the orange flip-flops, they'll be courageous, self-sufficient, meticulous, ambitious, but envious. For the next part of the reading, we want to know if there's anything we can do ourselves to bring this connection into being. If we can speed up meeting this person, or if we can aid the universe to bring them into our lives any quicker. So, Pick a bucket from the 6 that are shown, starting on the left with the blue, through to the red, yellow, purple, pale pink and cerise, and let's find out if there's anything you can do to help this situation along. If you pick the blue bucket, if you've been thinking of changing your style, clothes, hair, places you visit, change is a positive thing at the moment. If you pick the red bucket, if you were asked to help a good cause or to contribute time to aid a friend, business or charity, take up the chance. If you pick the yellow bucket, consider night classes or education options to expand your knowledge and the chances of meeting your match. If you pick the purple bucket, view people you meet with your soul and heart rather than your eyes. You'll be surprised at what happens. If you pick the pale pink bucket, go for it. Work on the project that's been held back or ideas that have been neglected, as now is the time. If you pick the cerise bucket, accept invitations you receive where you may usually say no, especially in new places or when you lack confidence.